Texas has a new way to teach history, in chronological order. That's the headline from the New York Times, and if you have kids in Texas public schools, this one's worth paying attention to. Here's the basic idea: most states teach history by subject. 4th grade might be local history. 5th grade, U.S. history. A little world history sprinkled into middle school. It's a system most of us grew up with. Texas is scrapping it entirely. Late Friday, the Texas State Board of Education approved a sweeping overhaul that would reorganize history education around a strict timeline. Starting in 3rd grade, students would begin with ancient history. 4th grade, the Middle Ages. 5th grade takes them to the Protestant Reformation, the colonization of America, and the American Revolution. By 6th grade, they're covering the Civil War and Reconstruction. 7th grade lands on World War I, World War II, and the Civil Rights Movement. And 8th grade wraps up with a dedicated course on Texas history. Kindergarten through 2nd grade would get a foundational civics and history education, think the story of Thanksgiving, Abraham Lincoln, the broad strokes, before the chronological sequence kicks in. The idea, backers say, is to give students a better sense of what they call the arc of history, understanding why things happened, not just memorizing names and dates. U.S., Texas, and world history would all be woven into each time period rather than taught as separate tracks. Supporters point to a connection like ancient Rome's influence on early American government as the kind of insight this approach could unlock. The plan was pushed by conservative groups and has the backing of the Republican majority on the state board, which holds a 10-5 advantage. They argue that the current fragmented approach has failed students, pointing to dismal history test scores. But the changes did not pass without serious pushback. Historians from the American Historical Association, the largest membership organization for historians in the country, opposed the overhaul, calling the approach really untested. Critics say asking 3rd graders to grapple with ancient history is a stretch, and that a purely chronological structure skips what historians call spiraling, the practice of revisiting ideas in greater depth as students mature. Beyond the structure, there are substantive concerns about what's in the curriculum and what isn't. A history professor at the University of Texas at Austin pointed out that the standards largely omit China, India, and sub-Saharan Africa, and that Islam is defined primarily through the lens of jihad and slavery. He also noted the plan minimizes contributions from women and sidesteps difficult chapters of American history like convict leasing and redlining. Democrats on the board raised concerns that the plan, alongside a newly approved statewide reading list that includes excerpts from the Bible, pushes a specifically Christian and conservative view of history in a state where the majority of public school students are Hispanic or Black. Republicans say both changes will raise academic rigor and deepen students' appreciation for America and Texas. The state board's own press release described the old approach as one that overwhelmed students and produced generations of students who do not know the greatness of America. The new curriculum is set to roll out starting in 2030, giving schools a few years to prepare, though the debate over what exactly Texas students should learn, and how, is almost certainly not over. That's the story. Texas is betting that putting history in order will finally make it make sense, and the rest of the country will be watching to see if it works.